Hey guys, so first of all I want to apologise for this really bad lighting. I was going to record this earlier but camera difficulties, it wouldn't turn on, and that was when the sun was out. That was like sunset, so I had to turn on the big light, so this isn't going to be great lighting, but it's okay. We'll pull through this. It's fine. Today's video is going to be my opinion of the top 3 beginner reptiles and why I think that they are the best reptiles to begin with. First of all, I will say though, I do think whatever reptile you're passionate about, that is the one that you should get, as long as it isn't crazy or you know that you're not going to be able to handle it. Other than that, if you buy a leopard gecko just because people say that it's easy, then you may not be passionate about the animal and you may want to get rid of it like a few months down the road. Try and find an animal that you're passionate about and go with that one. However, these are the 3 that I would pick. If someone asked me what is a good beginner reptile, these are the 3 that I would say. So the first reptile that is on my list is a blue-tongued skink. Now unfortunately I can't get my boy out right now because he is in brumation, so I'm not about to interrupt him in that. However, I will have clips of him and little pictures and whatnot for you guys to look at. So my blue-tongued skink is called King Ezekiel. He is 6 years old. Yeah, and he had like 3 homes before coming to me because people said that he was aggressive. He is the furthest thing from aggressive. He is like a puppy. So God knows what they was doing. So I have got a lot of pros for him, and I've also got a few cons just so that you get a little bit of insight on that too. So the first pro is blue-tongued skinks can get really puppy dog tame, and they are pretty passive, and if you work with them they are absolutely amazing. Obviously most animals need working with to get them to that point, but once they are, he will just sit in my hood, he will chill and just lay there, he will let me do anything to him, and he is absolutely amazing. Another thing is they are a really good sized lizard. They're not too small but they're not huge like a tegu, but then they aren't like a leopard gecko size, so they're big, they're very hardy to pretty much any mistakes. If you're using the wrong substrate for like the first week or something like I was, they're very hardy to change and to mistakes like that. They aren't a weak species at all. They're also, if you handle them a little bit wrong, they will tell you that you're handling them wrong. They will wiggle around, they will fling their tail around, and they will kind of put themselves in the right position where they're going to be comfortable. So they're also very cheap to feed. I feed him multiple different things. He has frozen meatballs, which is basically minced beef with egg and then different variations of fruits and vegetables in that. That gets frozen, taken out the day before or the morning of when he's going to be fed. And he absolutely eats all of that. You can also do it with stuff like turkey if they need a little bit of weight putting on, stuff like that. They can also eat insects, which works a little bit more expensive, just because obviously you need to buy them fresh. Or you can get like tinned snails, they're really good. You can do boiled egg. You can use powder food, you can use cat food, you can use dog food. There are so many different ways to feed a blue-tongued skink, and they are all pretty cheap and easy to access. So if you want a video on his diet, let me know and I'll film that. The next pro is they are diurnal, so they are awake during the daytime, which is absolutely great, especially if you want to be able to handle them, or even if you just want to be able to watch them, then that is amazing for that to be in the day, especially if it's for a young child or something. That works to a really good advantage. And on the whole they are a pretty slow species. Unless they get spooked, then they will be out like a jet. But once you've worked with them, as I said, they're just so chill, so laid back, let you do anything to them. Could not ask for a better lizard, to be fair. So for blue-tongued skinks there are 3 cons that I think of instantly. So the first one is their brumation. They turn super grumpy leading up to it. That is the first time that he has ever tried to bite me or threatened to bite me, and that was leading up to brumation when most blue-tongued skinks weren't going into it yet. He was getting grumpy beforehand. But something to note, last year he was fine. All the way through brumation, he was absolutely fine. You could still go into his tank, do his water, stuff like that. But he has gone through like a week where I couldn't even put my hand in to do the water. So I had to like wrap my hand up and go in because I was not trying to get bit. The third con is that they need a pretty large vivarium. They are a big lizard. They need a lot of space to walk around. They need stimulation. They can't, in my opinion, just be put in a tub and left like my ball pythons are. They're pretty much in the tub. They have a naturalistic environment in there, which I prefer for them. But then they're just checked on and like made sure that they're okay. The third con is in certain places blue-tongued skinks are pretty hard to find. They're still very rare in my area, which is in the UK, like 5 minutes from central London, and they are very hard to find here. It took me about 7 months to find him at the reptile shop that I go to, and then after that they got in a bunch of babies and I haven't seen them since, and that was 2 years ago. So overall I rate a blue-tongued skink an absolutely amazing pet and an amazing addition to my little reptile family. I absolutely love having him and he is amazing, and I would recommend him to anyone. He is the one that I pull out when people are around looking at them. I'm like, here you go, have a lizard. Are you hissing at me? Do you want me to do your cons first? Next up is Mr. Pugglesworth, aka Pluto, who is my lovely hognose. He just goes by the name Pluto because his name's too long. So the first pro about him is that he is a very small snake. So males only get up to about 1.5 to 2 foot, and females are like 2 foot to 3 foot, I think. So the boys do stay very small, which means that they only require small space. He is in a 24-inch Monkfield terrarium, I think they're called. And it's very small, easy to fit him. And all that they require is heat, so you don't have to worry about lighting for these guys, just keeping their heat up, which makes them more affordable again because you don't have to keep on replacing the UVB, and heat mats are pretty cheap. Next of all is they are pretty cheap to feed. This guy is only on small like fluffies. Every 5 to 7 days he has them. When they are a baby though, you want to do it every 5 days just to keep that weight going on. Next of all is there are lots of colours of these guys, lots of different morphs, way more than what they used to be. You can get albinos, you can get snows, you can get anacondas, which is what he is. You can get so many different colours of these guys and they are all super pretty. Next of all is they are full of personality. They are really sassy, funny snakes to watch. They will fake strike at you. Very rare for them to actually bite, which is good, but they will fake strike. They're super sassy. They will hiss a lot. He hisses at me just for walking past. Next of all is they are diurnal too. I had to think then if that was the right word. They are also diurnal. They are awake during the daytime, so they're easy to watch and easy to watch their little goofy antics. And they are just overall a really nice snake to have, especially because of their size too. You don't need loads of space. There are 2 cons for these guys. The first one is that they are mildly venomous. So their venom doesn't affect us, it affects fish and stuff like that. However, you can get pretty swollen up by these guys if you have a reaction to their venom. So if they bite you, there is a possibility that you will get super swollen, but other than that, you're fine. And the other con is just their sassiness. If you're used to having snakes that will bite you if they strike at you, having one strike at you and not can kind of be confusing and off-putting. Also play dead, which is a little bit dramatic. He never has, and I'm hoping that he never does, but those are the 2 cons, just their sassiness, which is also a pro, so it's up to you what one you see it as. So overall I think that hognoses are amazing there and would definitely rate them as one of the top 3. So this absolutely beautiful young girl right here is Caldori. She is a crested gecko and she is about 3 years old. So the reason why I think a crested gecko is an amazing beginner animal, first of all, is because they're very cheap to feed. They eat a powdered diet, and occasionally you can feed them insects for some stimulation for them to hunt and also for the extra nutrients. The powder food is also great, it gives them everything that they need, and it's pretty cheap. You can get a large bag, 8 ounces of Pangea for £20, and that lasts them, I have 2 to feed, so it lasts them about 3 months. So that is pretty good. Next of all is they are a very small lizard. They will only get to about 10 inches maximum, really, is what you're looking at on average. She is about 10 inches with her tail, I'd say. I'm not very good at measuring. They also come in a lot of different colours. They will also fire up and fire down, so if they feel threatened then they will go a different colour, basically darken up, so she'll go bright red, and when she's comfortable and happy and not scared then they will fire down, which she goes peach. My other girl, Kalimdor, she goes like green sides and black all over, and when she's fired down then she is just like beige. So it's pretty interesting, but you can get so many different morph variations of these guys. There are stuff like Dalmatians and tigers, which she is a tiger as far as I can tell from her belly. You can get Harlequins. There is just a lot of different morphs to choose from, so everyone can find something that they like. So as you can tell, they are a very laid back lizard. Once you work with them, they get like this. They will just sit and chill out and be very, very easy to love and rarely ever bite. I've never been bitten by a crested gecko. Whereas when they're not worked with, they are very flighty at the beginning. They will jump around, they will not let you handle them. It just requires some working with, like all animals. So you can get a crested gecko pretty cheap, which I think is great because they require, in my opinion, a very good setup. I do Exoterras with lots of different stuff inside. I wouldn't personally just put these guys in a tall tub. So I think getting a cheaper lizard means that you have more money to get some stimulation for them in their environment. So you can get a crested gecko for as cheap as like £30, just a normal crested gecko. Whereas if you go up the morphs, then obviously they will be more. And last of all, one that I count as a major pro, these guys require no special lighting unless you are doing a bioactive setup with live plants. Other than that, they do not require lighting, just heat. So that makes them very, very easy, and it does bring the cost down a bit because you don't have to keep on replacing the light. So the 4 cons for these guys, there are 4. First of all, the need for a more spacious stimulation filled environment. It can get costly, it does take up space, but if you love crested geckos then it is 100% worth it. The second thing is how they are fast and flighty at first. My other girl, who is a rescue, will not sit like this. You cannot pick her up without her threatening to drop her tail and her flying across the room. So, whereas this girl is just like, Caldore is just Caldore. That is the other con too, they can drop their tail and it will not grow back. People have found that they would drop their tails just over a book falling off of a bookshelf, the loud thump. Anything can make them drop their tail. I am very proud that this girl and Kalimdor still have their tails, and it is just such an easy, common thing to happen that they will drop it. So if it does happen, don't worry about it. It's one of those things, unfortunately. Why have you got your paw on your tummy? Are you hungry? Or are you singing? You look fabulous, girl. The con about these guys is they are nocturnal, so they will be awake at night time. So if you want to watch them during the day, or if you sleep early, then unfortunately you may not see them very much. But they are still 100% worth it, or just staying up that hour later just to see them is worth it. Overall, I think that they're an amazing pet. She would just sit on my lap and let me spoon feed her some of her food. She's absolutely amazing to watch hunt, and she's just so lovable. She is absolutely amazing, and I adore having crested geckos. So that is it for this video. I hope that you guys enjoyed and got to see maybe a reptile that you was thinking of and they either persuaded you that it is or isn't right for you, or that you found one that you'd absolutely love to have. So I hope either way that this video helped you guys, and I hope that you enjoyed watching. Hopefully my videos this year will start coming out a bit more frequently. If you guys have anything that you want me to film, then let me know in the comments and I will get around to it. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you all next time. Goodbye.